Hi everyone and welcome again to tonight's broadcast. This is your number one unofficial spokesperson of the Obidati campaign. So we're gonna go into what is trending tonight with OG, Okwe and her team, and we're just gonna come back and analyze what just happened, what just took place in that meeting, in that broadcast with Arise TV. So let's just go ahead and listen to what they have to say, and then we'll come back.
Presidential candidates of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his People's Democratic Party counterpart, Atiku Abubakar, were absent on Wednesday as the Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso of the New Nigeria People's Party joined others to sign an agreement on inclusive governance. Organizers of the event, Women in Politics Forum, Youth Hub Africa, and Inclusive Friends Association said the agreement was a consolidated agenda to be used as an advocacy tool in the 2023 general election and beyond. Labour Party candidate Peter Obi, who spoke at the event, decried poor representation of women and youth in the administration of the country, stating that Nigeria cannot progress when the most productive demography are left out of government, promising that his administration, if elected in 2023, will commit to the affirmative action on women and youth.
Now, we're going to come back and analyze this, but before we do that, let's hear from Obi himself. All right.
I'm committed to women education. I'm committed to ensuring that women are inclusive beyond the percentage, Rosia. Our government will be dominated by women and youths. And I'm committed to ensuring that those with disabilities, I've always preached, don't look down on anybody unless you're trying to lift the person up. And I'll lift them up.
All right. So we're going to stop here so far. Now, the fact is there was this women group and the youth group that organized this almost like an affirmative action meeting for the leading presidential candidates to sign this document as a framework for their government, so they can run an inclusive government, so they can commit to running an inclusive government that includes women and youth and also persons living with disabilities. Now, this is not really necessary if you ask me, because parts of the Constitution, 1999 Constitution as amended, has a section, I think around section 14, that talks about equal representation. So you can say that the Constitution already obviated these kinds of meeting. They had this in previous election cycle. You might think that the Constitution already obviated these kinds of meetings because the Constitution is supreme over everything and it's already enshrined there. So why do people like the women group and the all those youth group and the rest of them, why do they go the extra mile to call these people together to try to extract commitment? And somebody might make an argument to say that's why some other presidential candidate didn't think it is necessary. Example would be PDP and APC. They might think it is not necessary to go these extra miles. The Constitution already took care of these things. Now, if you're in a Senate climb, that would have been the right thing to say. But the problem in Nigeria is that the people there, especially those we elected, and I'm going to tell you what my spin is on this. Those who elected in authority or in places of power, they think that they are above the law and also above the Constitution, that they don't do the things that you think are obvious, right? In Nigeria, you have less than 5% representation of women and youth in government. Less than 5%. In other countries in Africa, Rwanda and Senegal, they have 50% and 57% respectively. And across other African countries, across other places in the world, they have more representation, of women and youth and people with disabilities than they do in Nigeria. So you understand why these groups are calling for this, trying to extract this commitment, is because those that were in power before never paid attention to these things. So that's why they're doing these things. They're not supposed to if things were working normal, but things are not working normal. And P2B has said, I am committed. In that document, they have like 35% representation for women and youth and people with disabilities. And Obi is saying, we'll go beyond that 35%. We'll go beyond that 35%. So now, once we elect him in 2023 and he's sworn in by May 29th, 2023, it is not over. It is the beginning. We start holding him accountable. How many youth are in your list of ministerial appointments? How many youth are there? One former minister of God, of the gospel in Nigeria, once mentioned, even if you're going to have an elder as a minister, have a junior minister as a youth so they can learn from them. Right. So you're going to have some veterans running some shows, but you need to put some people in places where they can learn to run the shows later. You can't just claim they don't have experience and then you don't give them exposure. Where do you want them to get the experience from? Steal it? So we're going to be looking at Obi and Dati come 2023 to fulfill these statements. Appoint the youth, appoint women, appoint people with disabilities, and also make it more accessible for them to access some buildings. Put ramps and so on and so forth for those that are on wheelchairs. And there are other kinds of disabilities. So make it easier for them. People with autism, people that need, people that have mental health issues. Make treatment available. Make counseling available for them. Affordable too. So these are the presidential candidates that are not presenting themselves to the people. I say this time and again. If someone tells you who they are, believe them. They tell you they don't care about you. Believe them. Don't go and vote for them and then start crying later. Believe them. The ones that present themselves to you and say, here we are. Write down what they are saying, record what they are saying, hold them to it. All right, so we're gonna cut it short right now. So you know who to vote for and you know how to vote. Right there on your screen, there's a ballot paper, a sample ballot paper. When you go to vote, vote for man, woman, and child, and make sure your fingertip is within that box, that square right there. Make sure your fingertip is within that. We're voting for man, woman, child, or woman, man, child, or child, woman, man, or child, man, woman, however you want to say. We're voting for three people. We're not voting for 5 or 6 or 7 people. No, we're voting for 3 people: man, woman, and child. Put your finger for the Labour Party candidate. Right, let's get this election right. Let's get it right. These guys are presenting themselves to us and they are running on issues and telling us time and again what they're going to do. They're not big on pulling people down or calling people's names. No, they are discussing issues. They are telling you we can have representation in government, right? We're going to support the affirmative action. We have more than 35% representation of the minority group in our government. Let us hold them accountable to this. Because when you have these diversified groups of people in government, then you have more prosperity. The more diversified the people are, the more progress you make. But when you have a group of oldies running the show, recycling themselves from one party to the other, running the show, it's going to be the same. You can't continue to do the same things and expect something different, right? So let's try something different. I know that Obi was in PDP, so also Dati was in another party, but but like Obi said, God didn't make new people in Egypt. He called the people from Egypt and called them out. So let's look at the people that are called out and have made promises and have said, hold us accountable. Look at our precedent and our antecedents and judge us based on that. And then these are our new promises. Hold us accountable. It's the first time we're seeing these kind of things. So let us vote rightly this time around, okay? Let's vote rightly. Just because they made good laws, there was a bill they passed sometime in Nigeria for disabilities, to support people with disabilities. And yet, when people went to protest to say we're not getting the provisions of the law, they were beaten. This is unheard of. They were beaten. Even people that went to compete in Paralympics and won, they were not given the due respect that they earned by the government. So we need a change. Enough is enough. All right, so get your PVCs, and when it is time to vote, you know what to do. Until then, it has been your friend, your
The
number one
Independent National
unofficial spokesperson of the Obi Dati campaign. Again, I'm just going to play this video from INEC and we call it a quit. Um, go get your PVCs. It has started already. Get your PVCs, and then when it is time to vote, make sure you vote. Let's listen to INEC and then we'll call it a day.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has fixed Monday, 12th December 2022 to Sunday, 22nd January 2023 as the dates for the collection of PVCs nationwide from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily, including Saturdays and Sundays. All registrants who are yet to collect their PVCs or requested for transfer of registration, as well as those who applied for replacement of lost or damaged PVCs, can now visit INEC local government offices where they intend to vote to collect their PVCs. Collection of PVCs will be further extended to ward level for those who are unable to collect theirs at local government offices from Friday 6th to Sunday 15th January 2023. Thereafter, the exercise will be reverted to the local government offices of the INEC until Sunday 22nd January 2023. Remember, only those with PVC can vote on election day. Collect your PVC now to vote. It is your duty. This message is brought to you by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), making your votes count, consolidating our democracy.
All right, remember to comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next broadcast.